today. So you should have a couple of different handouts, or 3 different handouts. So the first one is going to be the prepositional phrases rules, and then you should have the lyrics to the preposition song, which can also be found on YouTube and Google Classroom. And then the third thing is just a list of a lot of different sentences that contain prepositional phrases that we'll be working with in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and start with the prepositional phrases rule sheet. So basically there are 5 rules that you really kind of need to understand when it comes to finding prepositional phrases and sentences and using them properly. So first rule is that they always begin with a preposition. A prepositional phrase starts with a preposition, and then it always is going to end with a noun or a pronoun. So for example, this sentence says, the little boy climbed up the slide. So if you consult your memory or the preposition song, you'll see that the word up is a preposition. So I'm going to go ahead and circle all the prepositions, and then what you're going to do is ask yourself, okay, up what? So just basically get in the habit of asking yourself preposition what, and then your answer is most likely going to be a prepositional phrase. So the little boy climbed up what? Up the slide. Is slide a noun or pronoun? It's a noun. So up the slide is your prepositional phrase in this sentence. Into the tunnel we crawled. Again, if you consult your memory or your list, you will realize that into is a preposition. So we're going to go ahead and circle that one. And then again, preposition what? Into what? Into the tunnel. And so tunnel is a noun. So into the tunnel is your prepositional phrase in that sentence. So here is another rule that you need to be aware of. Well, if you find a preposition in a sentence and you ask preposition what, and there's no answer to it, then that preposition is actually not a preposition after all. It just looks like one. It's actually in disguise and is an adverb instead. So your prepositions, the words, can actually take on several different tasks. So sometimes your prepositions actually are adverbs instead or verbs instead. So you got to know what their function is in a sentence. So look at this example. Don't look down. Down is a preposition, but in this case, if you ask down what, well, we don't know. Down what? So in this case, it's not a preposition because there's nothing after it, and so it is an adverb. So if you'll go ahead and label any adverbs ADV, that'll kind of clarify that. Number 4, if a preposition's before a verb, then it's something called an infinitive phrase instead. So basically, the word to plus a verb, so some sort of an action verb, equals something called an infinitive. So write down all these notes that I'm writing down as well. So to plus a verb is an infinitive. That looks like a B. Let's be a B. I tried really hard not to stare. So to is on our preposition list. It is a preposition. But again, if it is before a verb, stare, can you stare? Can staring be done? Yes. So in this case, to and stare is something called an infinitive. So label all the infinitives you come across INF. Okay? So to plus a verb equals an infinitive, not a prepositional phrase. Last rule, rule number 5. If like is used as a simile, then it is not a preposition in that sentence. And so, actually, that is so very wrong. That it is. Please fix my mistake there. Then it is a preposition. If it's used as a verb, it's not, because no verbs are ever allowed. In fact, make a little note over here. No verbs allowed. So if like is used as a verb, then it's not a preposition. Look at this one. Your eyes are like dark pools of water at midnight. The eyes are being compared to pools of water using the word like. So in this case, it's not saying your eyes like dark pools of water. They are like. So this is a simile. So like what? Like dark pools. Pools is a noun. That's a prepositional phrase. There's actually another one. Sometimes they're going to piggyback on one another, and you'll have 2 in a row. And so your next word of, that's a preposition too. Of what? Of water. Water's a noun. There's your second prepositional phrase. At. At's a preposition also. At what? At midnight. Midnight's a noun. So at midnight is your third prepositional phrase in that sentence. So you can have several in a row. Now the rule, or not really the rule, but the function of a preposition is basically to give you a location in your sentences. You absolutely could not give directions to somebody without using at least a few prepositional phrases. And so it's really important that we have those to really kind of clarify where things are located and you know, how to get there. And so these are basically the rules that you really need to understand and just basically memorize those. So that should be glued in your comp book. The preposition song. So these are not all of the prepositions that there are out there in the big wide world. These are just the ones that we use most commonly. And so there is a song on YouTube which you need to listen to a minimum of 3 times. So right now, pause the video, go find that song on my YouTube channel, Carrie Laws. It's also on Google Classroom. There's a link to it there. And I want you to listen to the song 3 times, and I want you to sing along with it. You don't have to sing out loud, but at least kind of, you know, whisper to yourself or sing it in your head. So pause now 3 times. Do it.
Behind me, low, beneath, beside, between, before, beyond. By and from, up on the road, until unto a pond. Under, underneath, since up, like near, pass through, out through. With, within, without, outside, toward, inside, into, to.
There it was. I decided to play it one more time for you. So listen to this thing over and over. Really, your best ways to learn prepositions is just to memorize them. You'll get that song stuck in your head, and you know it'll come back to you whether you want it to or not. So I want you chanting prepositions in your dreams tonight. All right, next step. You should have this list of 18 different sentences that contain prepositional phrases. So as per the rules or directions at the top, it says circle all of the prepositions of the following sentences and underline the prepositional phrases. So you're going to do it just like I did a minute ago when I was going over the rules. So I'll go over a few with you, and then I'm going to have you pause the video, do the rest on your own, and then you're going to come back to the video to check to see, hey, did I get those right or not? If you didn't, fix it. Make it right. All right, so number 1, it says, after the movie, the group of teenagers wanted to go to McDonald's for a burger. So if you are working from memory or consulting your list, you will notice that the word after is a preposition. Ask yourself, after what? After the movie. Is that a noun or pronoun? Absolutely. And so in this case, you would circle after, underline after the movie. That's your prepositional phrase. Be sure you are underlining the preposition too, because that's where the phrase starts. If you are really thinking hard right now, you will notice that the next preposition is going to be the word of, but you got to check it. Of what? Of teenagers. Teenagers a noun or pronoun? Yes, it is. So of teenagers is going to be your next prepositional phrase in this sentence. Okay, what about the next one? To go. Can you go somewhere? Yeah, you can. So it's a verb. And so in this case, what is it called when you have to plus a verb? Check back on your notes if you don't remember. It's that little thing called an infinitive. And so in this case, we're going to go ahead and label it INF at the top for infinitive phrase. Okay, next one we have to again. To what? To McDonald's. McDonald's is a place, so that's a noun. So this one we can underline as a prepositional phrase. To McDonald's. And then there's one more in this sentence. Y'all, we use these a lot. Prepositions are pretty important in our English language. For what? For a burger. Is burger a noun or pronoun? Yep. So circle for, underline for burger. Let's do another one together. Without sugar, the blueberries were too sour for the dinner guests. Okay, so without what? Without sugar? Noun or pronoun? You're right, it's a noun. So without sugar, too sour for what? For the dinner guests. Are guests nouns? They're people. Gotta be nouns. Okay, so for the dinner guests. We're going to stop right there. Remember, you can't have verbs in the prepositional phrases, and a preposition is going to end with that noun or pronoun that follows it. Okay, so keep that in mind. So what I would like for you to do is to go ahead and do 3 through 8. Just kind of check it at that point. So go ahead and pause the video right now. Do numbers 3 through 8 and then come back to me and we'll go over it together. Pause. Okay, so I'm assuming you paused it, you did 3 through 8, and so we're going to go ahead and go over those together now. So Sally worked from midnight to noon on her science project. From is your first preposition. From what? From midnight. Is midnight a noun or pronoun? It's a time, and so yes, it is. To what? To noon? Absolutely. On what? On her science project. Project's a noun. So you have 3 in a row right there. Over the river and through the woods to grandfather's house we go. Over what? Over the river. Noun or pronoun? Yes. Through what? Through the woods. That's a noun. Prepositional phrase. To where? Or to what? Grandfather's house? Okay. So we're going to end with house. Now if you were to keep going, you would end up with a verb, go. And so you've got to stop at house. So again, stop at that very next noun or pronoun that follows the preposition. He ate 3 boxes of popcorn with butter during the movie. He ate 3 boxes of what? Of popcorn. Popcorn's a noun. With what? With butter. Butter's a noun. During what? During the movie. Movie's a noun. Okay, 3 in a row. Despite his fear of water, Jack saved the drowning puppy. Despite what? Despite his fear. That's not on your list, but it is still a preposition. Of what? Of water. Prepositional phrase. Janet took her lunch with her to the seminar. With what? With her. That's a pronoun. To what? To the seminar. Seminar's a thing, so it's a noun. At the country fair, the child with the freckles won the talent contest hands down. At what? At the country fair. Country fair's a place, it's a noun. With what? With the freckles. Freckles are things, they're nouns. Talent contest hands down. Down what? Don't know. Down what? Okay, again, consult your rules. If you ask a question down what or preposition what and there's no answer, oh, it's just like this one. It's going to be an adverb instead. So we're going to label that one A, D, V. All right, so make sure that you have all of these correct on your paper. And once you do, pause this video again, and I want you to go ahead and finish the rest of this. So do 9 through 18. I'll give you a few seconds to get that, pause, and then come back to me. All right, really quickly, let's go ahead and go through the rest. For breakfast, she likes bananas with strawberries. For what? For breakfast. She likes. Like is a preposition, but oh, if it has the S or D, if it has anything extra, it's a verb. So we can't do anything with that. That's just a verb. With what? With strawberries. Down the dark alley, the cat chased a rat with long whiskers. Down what? Down the dark alley. A rat with what? With long whiskers. The police searched through the apartment complex for the escaped criminal. Throughout what? Throughout the apartment complex. For what? For the escaped criminal. During the summer, Gordy likes to fish under the large oak tree beside the creek. During what? During the summer. Likes to fish. To fish. Can you fish? Yeah, you can, or somebody can. And so in this case, to plus a verb, that little thing called an infinitive. Label it INF. Under what? Under the large oak tree. Beside what? Beside the creek. By noon, Jimmy decided to nap on the hammock. By what? By noon, to nap. Can you nap? Can you take a nap? You can do it. So to plus a verb, again, that's an infinitive. Can't be a preposition if it has a verb in it. On what? On the hammock. Geese live in flocks while cattle live among herds. In what? In flocks. Among what? Among herds. Around the world, music brings together people of all nationalities. Around what? Around the world. Oops, didn't mean to circle the. Of what? Of all nationalities. He likes movies about war. She prefers movies with a romantic theme. Stereotypical guy-girl preferences. About what? About war. With what? With a romantic theme. Away from home for the first time, Mary wrote numerous letters to her family. Away from what? Oh, we have two in a row right there. Again, sometimes they piggyback on one another. So away from home, home is a place. So we're going to circle those two together. For what? For the first time. To who? Or to what? To her family. Mud squished beneath her feet as Anne tiptoed through the woods during a rainstorm. Beneath what? Beneath her feet. Through what? Through the woods. During what? During a rainstorm. All right, make sure that you have all of those correct on your paper. Listen to that preposition song a couple more times, and we'll go over this some more in class. All right, peace out.